Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Melanie Benson, who is the host of the Amplify Your Success podcast and the author of Rewired for Health, as well as the co-author of the best-selling Voices of the 21st Century. So, Melanie, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I really appreciate you coming along. And whereabouts are you based right now?
We live just outside of Los Angeles in the hills above what many people know is Malibu, California, the beaches. So,
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I just want to share a little bit more about you before we do get started. So, Melanie is an authority amplifier for expert-preneurs, and she shows you how to do that or stand out in a crowded market and attract high-paying clients and opportunities, and has a proven track record of accelerating results for her clients. The title for today's episode is How to Be a Highly Paid Authority, and Melanie is going to show us how to do that in just 7 minutes. So no pressure at all. Question number one for you today is, who are your ideal clients?
no pressure at all, right? So my ideal clients are people who are building a business around an expertise. It could be a service, it could be a program. Oftentimes they're coaches, consultants, and they have one thing in common.
Yeah.
They're working really, really hard, but they feel invisible to their ideal clients. And they are searching and seeking for ways to be the most logical choice to their clients and be the person that gets chosen. So we move
Incredible.
them from being invisible to being a highly paid and sought after expert.
Fantastic. So important. And when you think of your ideal clients, what's typically that one big challenge that they're facing, or the biggest challenge that they're facing?
Yeah, I think they face several challenges. I've been doing this for 21 years. And one thing I've noticed is that when you have passion and a lot of heart around what you want to do, one thing is pretty common is you're not necessarily as good at marketing as you are as good at delivering what you do. So you may be an expert and an authority in what you do, but you're not visible and you're not seen in the market as being the expert because other people are better marketers.
Mhm.
So you're constantly fighting the I don't like to market, or I'm not as good at marketing as everyone else. And so I think one of the most important things that we have to look at is the problem of messaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to create a message that is compelling and attractive and irresistible to my ideal clients. And so the best message tends to win in a lot of
Mhm.
the marketing games. And that's where we often start.
And I guess it may seem like an obvious question, but if they don't get their messaging right, or they're not getting better at marketing themselves, what impact will that ultimately have for them or their business?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have experienced that. I've experienced being a very visible, highly paid authority, and I've been through times when I felt really invisible, and most of
Yeah.
my clients do too. And
Mhm.
that's what happens if your message isn't relevant. I teach a method in my Amplify Your Authority programs. Um, if your message isn't relevant, if it's not like clear what your outcomes are, if it's not clear your credibility, and if you're missing that specificity, it's called my rocks method. What ends
Mhm.
up happening is people don't recognize your value. They just recognize that you're there, like if they can see you at all.
Yeah.
And that's why you're invisible. They don't recognize the relevance of what you do and why they need you soon enough.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this will be stuck with that challenge. So, what's the one piece of advice that you'd give them to help them move forward?
It's interesting. I was given this advice early on in my career, and I
Mhm.
fought it for a really long time. And I'm sure you hear this too. Is pick a lane, pick a place that you want to specialize. I have a client right now I'm working with in Australia who he's so talented. He has so many different things that he can do, and he solves a lot of problems. So he's like, I don't know, like, how do I limit myself? We're not limiting what we do. We are starting with a really important message that solves a costly problem for the clients you most want to work with. So it's the old adage of uh, start with what they want and then give them what they need. They need all the other stuff, but they want this. And if you can get really good at solving that problem and being visible and have a great message that reveals that in the market, then you can move people into the other parts of your solution. So
Yeah.
that's the place I often start my clients because it's the fastest way to start seeing results.
I love that. It's so powerful. And, they say if you try and be everything for everyone, you end up becoming nothing for no one.
Exactly.
So given that then, what is one resource or what is something that you can offer people to help them get started?
Well, I think helping people make money and be chosen, in the market is a big problem. And so I like
Mm,
to start with what's the roadmap? Like, what are the
yeah,
pieces you need to have in place to help you focus on solving the right problem in your business? And having studied what works for 21 years and then having my own business, skyrocket several times, I found there are 8 common things that highly paid authorities do well. And
yeah,
so I put those in a guide that I call How to Become a Highly Paid Authority. And I
nice.
would be happy to give that to everyone here. It's a free resource that I'll make available to everyone. I don't know if you have that URL handy or you want to put it in your show notes.
Yes, absolutely. I'll do that for everybody. So it is melaniebenson.com/succeed speaking. And what I'll do is I'll put that into the show notes, like you said, and people can click that and they can dive right in and
Perfect.
download that guide.
Yeah. And there's a little bonus training that goes with it that I think is really helpful, where I talk through how to put all those puzzle pieces together and really prioritize the thing that's going to move the needle first, fastest, and first for you.
Incredible. Sounds incredibly useful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So I've got another question now. Obviously, like you said, you've been through lots of different changes or different routes that you've taken in your business over the years. So given that, what would you say is one of the greatest either mistakes or failures that you've made either in life
Mm.
or business, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I've made several.
Yeah,
There's two things I would say. One was not having my own really specific starting point. Like, I
yeah,
started there and then I grew and grew and grew and got good at a lot of things, and I started offering too many things. And honestly, a confused market doesn't buy, and my market got confused, and
mhm,
I got confused. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to be. But the other side of that equation was I stopped listening to my own wisdom, like my own intuitive hits on things. And I
yeah,
started making choices that were serving everybody but me.
got it.
And so
Yeah,
really learning to hone that inner voice and listen to it is a skill that I didn't adopt until about 10 years in, but now it serves me very well.
exactly, and also serves all of your clients very well as well, from the sounds of things.
Yes, it
Great.
does have a payoff for them.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Perfect. So thank you so much. For the last question from me then is, what is the one question that I should have asked you that will also bring some great value
Mm.
today?
I always like to ask my client, my interview guest
Mhm.
on Amplify Your Success, like, what is the boldest thing they ever had to do? Because I think
Love
people
that.
forget it takes courage to have their own business. And honestly, the boldest thing I ever did was invest money in the business I was becoming,
Yeah.
not spend money to take like that very next step. And I have done that over and over and over again every time I wanted to accelerate my growth. And I know a lot of people are afraid to invest in their business. They're afraid to spend money. And changing my mindset about investing in my business was a radical game changer for me. And it does require being bold, but you have to do it if you want to grow.
Great lesson, great advice. And that is probably one of the best investments you can make. So I completely agree with you. So, Melanie, thank you so much again for your time today. I really appreciate you coming along and sharing such great value with our audience.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to connecting with everybody.